Hello world, you are watching Archie Television and I am your host, Lawrence Archie. Welcome, both returning and new viewers. You are watching the first installment to a 4-part tutorial series where I will model, I will rig, I will texture, etc. When last I left you, we started and completed the head. We started the torso and now we're ready to move forward in forming the hand. Without further ado, let's tab into edit mode, turn on. Let's turn on our screen cascades so you guys can see what I'm doing, when I'm doing, what I'm doing. Shift space so we can maximize the screen. Let me properly explain. When you shift space, wherever your mouse is hovering over, when you shift space, that's what you would make this, you will maximize the screen. So if you're holding your mouse over the 3D view and you shift space, that'll maximize your 3D space. If you're holding your mouse over your timeline, like I'm holding my mouse over my timeline right now, when you shift space, it'll maximize your timeline and your modifiers tab, etc. So with that being said, let me shift space over my 3D view. Um, Control tab, scroll down here to face mode. Select this face right here, hit period to maximize it. Let's hit C so we can scroll over these faces. Deselect this face. Go to a forward facing view. Just extrude one time. Let's extrude again. And at this point, I want to extrude a total of 4 times. So let's do that. I might want to add in a loop cut here in a second, but before that, let's hold Shift and let's hit Alt so we can grab these faces. Let's scale on the Z axis. Go on a forward facing view. Let's pull this down. Let's come in here, hit Alt. Let's grab these vertices, scale on the Z axis just a little bit. Let's tab in here, grab these faces, hit C to select these faces. And go into a top facing view. Let's scale on the Y. Scale on the Y axis. Let's hit proportion editing. Scale on the Y axis. Let's come in here and grab our edge mode. Scale on the Y axis once more. Outward on the Y axis. So we can begin to get the shape of our hand. A lot of people don't, well, this is my experience when working with the hand. I try and keep the hand relatively fat. This is my downfall. Whereas the wrist is nearly twice as thick as the hand, and the hand nearly twice as thick as the fingers. We come in here and grab our faces. Face mode. That's E to scale in. Go to our top view and let's pull this out. This will be where we will form our thumb. Let's hit X, delete these faces, because the method that I'm going to use to form my fingers is an extremely simple one. I'm going to extrude my middle finger and I'm going to shape it. I'm going to shape the middle finger and I'm going to just duplicate that one finger after I form it to my liking. And then I'm going to resize and I'm going to attach it as each of my other 4 fingers. Widen his hand a little bit. Come back in here, Control Z, back up a little bit. Just remove all these doubles. For some reason, I'm having doubles. Remove those doubles. Come in here, widen his hand out a little bit to add some shape to it. Let's do the same thing back here. Over here as well. Let's grab the top and let's Control E. No, back that up. Control E, edge slide. And let's move that in. Slide that in where it's on. So that hand is nice and round. Let's do the same thing on this side. Control E, edge slide. Let's take some of that sharpness away. Once more, Control E, edge slide. Slide that on in there. And back here. Control E, edge slide. Slide that in there. So at this point, let's go in there. Control tab. Let's grab our faces. Wait 1 second before we do that, so we can have the weapon to our fingers. Let's come in here. Let's grab these faces. Control edge slide that toward the tip of the hand a little more. Let's hit K for our loop cut. For some reason, when I first downloaded Blender, I couldn't hit K to loop cut. So if you hit spacebar and you type in loop, it should bring up the selection loop cut. It's supposed to bring in loop cut. That is not a loop cut. Oh, it's the knife tool. It's not the loop cut, it's the knife tool. Yeah. If you come in here, you hit spacebar and you type in knife, it'll do the same thing, but I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna hit the K hotkey, and I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna drag from these line of vertices. I'm gonna connect it to this line of vertices. I'm gonna hit my middle mouse button, connect to this line of vertices, connect to that point, that vertex. Hover over this line. When this line turns yellow, then you know you have this vertex. Hover over this line of vertices. When you see this line turn yellow, then you know you have this line of vertices. And when I'm done, I'm gonna hit R. Enter. Excuse me. Hit K again. Hover over this point. Left click. Hover over this line so it turns yellow. So on and so forth. Hit enter. Deselect that. Do this a number of 3 times, I believe. And hit enter. Now what we want to do is we want to come in here and we want to straighten out what we just did. So let's just select these vertices. Let's hit S, scale on the x-axis, I believe. Scale on the y-axis. There we go. Yes, select these vertices, hit S, Y, and 0 to straighten these vertices out. S, Y, and 0. And then hit E, Control E, excuse me, Control E, edge slide, so we slide these vertices closer to each other. Control E, edge slide, scale, Y0, enter. Control E, edge slide. SY0, enter. Control E, edge slide. Very simple tactic, very simple technique. So let's just look at our hand for right now. I want to do at this point is I want to come in here and I want to grab these faces, hit C, so I can scroll over these vertices. And I want to add some depth and distance and some shape to our hand. I want to make it a little larger, Grab these vertices, hit Control E, edge slide those toward the tip a little bit, the edge of the hand a little bit. So come in here, let's Control Tab, go to our top view by hitting numpad 7. Need to extrude. Let's extrude this one finger out. Come in here, add a couple of loop cuts. By hitting Control R, rolling up on your middle mouse button to get those 2 loop cuts. While edge is still selected, let's pull up on this edge. Let's add a loop cut in here. Pull this loop cut. Let's pull it down so we can start to add shape to our finger. Pull this finger. Pull this edge down. Select this edge. Pull it down. Pull this edge up so we can start to form the tip of the finger. Pull this edge down. Shift. Control Tab. Come in here and grab our face right here. Hit E to extrude. Scale. Pull that down so we can start to form the fingernail area. Come in here and grab our vertices. Pull these vertices down. That is not what we want to do. Come in here, let's grab these vertices, create a face. Let's start to add thickness to this finger on the outside of it. Grab that face, pull that vertex out. At this point, ladies and gentlemen, we've reached the duration of this video. If you've been following the tutorial series and you've picked up a few techniques and you like what you're learning, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. You can follow me on Twitter. You can like me on Facebook. And as always, if you're going to dream big. Good night, world.